How is it that time of year already? The fixture lists have been revealed for the new Premier League season starting in August. And although I haven't looked in very fine detail, I've seen obviously some of the really big games coming up for the next season. And I've got to say, I'm so pumped for the new season already. I really miss football. Even though we've got the Euros, it just isn't the Premier League for me. I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. So, not to waste any more of your valuable time, let's jump into August. I've obviously hidden all the fixtures, so if you haven't seen them yet, you will get a nice little surprise. So, who are we starting our campaign to win the title against? It is Wolves at home, followed by Aston Villa away, and then Brighton at home. I would say it's not a great first three fixtures, but it's not awful either. Wolves at home, I'm fairly confident we'll dispatch of them. Aston Villa away, though, oof, tough one. Very tough fixture. Aston Villa technically ruined the title for us last season with their win at the Emirates. And Brighton at home, never an easy game against Brighton, but they're going to have a new manager. He's a very young manager. I can't remember his name off by heart. I think he's 31 years old. He's the youngest Premier League manager of all time. They could be in really good form by the third game. They could be smashing teams and riding that new manager wave. So who knows? But Wolves, I predict a win there. Villa, we should win. We should beat Villa. I don't think they're going to have as good of a season. And then Brighton at home. I think we can win all three of those. But of course, it's easier said than done. Then moving into September, this might be a very, very tricky period for us. 2 away games in a row. And by the way, I have read somewhere we're going to have a Champions League game between them as well. So Tottenham away, and then the following Saturday, Man City away, with potentially a Champions League away game as well in between. Imagine that. Imagine if we get like an AC Milan or even like a Real Madrid in our group. Whew, that could be a very testing start to September. Well, actually, the majority of September. Leicester right at the end, of course, newly promoted. Who knows how they're going to look next season? They are going to have some sort of penalty, aren't they, through the FFP rule break, but not an easy month at all. Tottenham away, Man City away, with Champions League games in there. We'll see what happens, but exciting nonetheless. You know, you want to get those tests out of the way early on. I'll be imagining the squad relishing that early challenge. And then going into October, this is where you start to enter the cold months and that huge fixture list congestion. I mean, you can see the size of the boxes of November and December. It gets crazy. Southampton at home, don't even think that's an easy game. I swear Southampton have always been a bit of a bogey side for us. Then it's Bournemouth away. That can always be tricky. And then Liverpool at home, which I think we've been pretty good against Liverpool at home. I was at the last 2 home games against Liverpool, and hopefully we'll win that one as well. But 3 fixtures each month, warming up nicely. There's a real mix there. It's quite literally a bit of everything. We've got newly promoted sides. We've got teams that are probably going to be fighting for top 8, and they're going to be in and around middle of the table there. You've got newly promoted sides that might surprise. They might not. I think Leicester could do very well. Southampton could also do very well. And then, of course, we've got top 6, top 4 potential there with Tottenham and Aston Villa. And then, of course, we've got Man City, who will most likely win the title again. But then, like I said, we move into the cold, horrible winter months. I don't even want to think about it. We haven't even had a summer yet in the UK. We're getting rubbish 20-degree weather. Let's talk about November. Newcastle away, horrible fixture. Chelsea away, we should be fine there, but I'm a little bit worried about Chelsea going into the new season. I think they're gonna improve a lot. We'll see how the new manager gets on there. Nottingham Forest at home, pretty good. West Ham away, again, one of those fixtures you just never know what Arsenal's going to turn up. We've thrashed them at times, like last season. I remember Alexis scoring an amazing hat-trick against them away from home, but then we've also lost to them in the Carabao Cup, I think it was, or the FA Cup, and it's very possible that could be a tricky fixture. So not a great month again, but again, a nice little mix of not so great teams and then some really good teams. Who knows what Newcastle are going to do next season? But then the worst month of all, December. Everyone hates December. When you talk about or if you watch interviews of professional footballers, they all say December it's just hectic. It's cold, it's miserable, everyone's injured, and there's a game every 4 days. Us football fans love it though. We sit at home, cozy in our living rooms with the heating on and enjoy some football. Manchester United at home, followed by Fulham away, Everton at home, Palace away, Ipswich at home, Brentford away. I'm very pleased about December. I think that is a very good month for us. I think we'll beat United at home. We should go to Fulham and get a result. Everton at home shouldn't be an issue. Palace away could be tricky. They were very good towards the end of the season. Ipswich at home, I'm not really banking on Ipswich causing much of an issue for most teams next season, but they could be really good. And then Brentford away has typically been a very tough place to go for a lot of the top teams, but not for us, it seems. We have a good record there. So that's the first half complete. What do we think, guys? I would say, other than, that Tottenham Man City away in a row, and then the Newcastle Chelsea in November away, it's pretty good. It's not too bad. My hope, as always, is that we have a fit squad ready to go in this situation. Just everyone fit, everyone in good form, and then we go into January, which is going to be 2025. Just a little bit off topic, but this is the year that, as a kid, I always used to think about 2025, floating cars and jetpacks and stuff. And in reality, the world's a bit of a messed up place. I've got a Tesla. That's great. Electric cars are great. January, Brighton away, Tottenham at home, Villa at home, Wolves away. Tough fixtures. Very tough. Brighton away. I've got fond memories of going to Brighton. I obviously went to that game last season. And if you go back and watch the Operation Arsenal video I did, I obviously filmed bits of me there. I actually got kicked out of the stadium, which was fun. If you want to know why, go back and watch the video. Tottenham at home, always a feisty one, but we should win that. Villa at home, who knows what Villa are going to do next season. And then Wolves away, I hate that fixture. I always remember the David Luiz red card. Unbelievable. When his knee clipped the back of, was it Costa? Oh, I can't remember. Going into February, where I will be turning 32. Man City at home, 2 days before my birthday. Give me a present, Arsenal. Leicester away, West Ham at home, Nottingham Forest away. A mix, again, really tough game against City, but then 3 winnable games. Who knows where we're going to be there? We need to be right up there at this point. This is where you start getting into that kind of squeaky bum time. If you start dropping points here, kiss your title goodbye. Going into March, just the 2 fixtures at the moment. And of course, all of these are subject to change. We could see some movements. But it's Manchester United and Chelsea in March. And of course, you've got to throw in all the FA Cup games, Carabao Cup games, and most importantly, a lot of Champions League fixtures as well. And don't forget, the Champions League is changing next season, so it's going to look very different. April, massive month. This is where it's the business end of the season. You need to be going on a run. If you're going to win the title, you need to win every game from here, 100%. Fulham, home. Everton, away. Brentford at home. Ipswich away. Palace at home. Fantastic month. I'm not saying we're going to win all those games. I'm not saying we're going to smash the title by this point. But Fulham, Everton, Brentford, Ipswich, Crystal Palace is a very good April for us. Tricky games, yes, but winnable. I really hope I can come back to this video and say, yeah, I was right. And not, oh, that was bad, Matt. And then finally, the moment we lift the title, is it going to be a home game where we lift the trophy? No. We'll be going to Southampton for the last game. Before that, though, we've got Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle at home. Southampton will be the one where we lift the trophy. So, I mean, Liverpool away is always a tough one. Anfield is difficult. Newcastle at home. Again, Newcastle's such an anomaly. Are they going to be a Champions League worthy team? Are they going to be dropping off again this season? I don't know. So, key areas to watch out for. Let me do some drawing. Right, I need to change the colour so you guys can see it a little bit better. We'll just go with black. So, let's turn up the hardness as well. There we go. The key fixtures to really watch out for. I would say this and this, obviously. It's way too big. Let me make that smaller. There we go. away to Tottenham followed by away to Man City is really, really challenging. And obviously the aim would be to come away with 6 points there, but it's a big ask. Also, I haven't talked about Tottenham. How are they going to look going into the new season? Another tricky period. And again, it's away games in a row that I'm looking at here. The Newcastle, Chelsea away. Could easily slip up at one of those, but that September and November with some really tricky moments. Let's work backwards here because I mentioned Anfield is always a really... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Anfield is always a... Why are you being stupid? I'm in Photoshop here and sometimes it doesn't behave. Anfield is always a really tricky one, and to get that as our third to last game, I mean, that's the kind of game where if we lose, you might end up losing the title, and then Liverpool fans are going to go wild. March, I don't want to say this, but I just don't worry about Old Trafford as much anymore. Although we never really get just a simple game there. Chelsea at home, I'm not too worried about. Of course, the game against Man City at home, just like last season, if we can win that, that will be a huge, huge lift. Of course, the North London derby at home as well. Aston Villa away could be a really tricky one, but I think these are obviously the main fixtures to look out for, the ones that I think will decide our season. Obviously, early on with Tottenham and Man City, Newcastle and Chelsea, there's still a lot of time to go. But when we start getting in this period here, I would like to point out that these need to all be wins. I'm fairly convinced from this United and Chelsea double, I would expect us to win every game, even the Anfield one. And like I said, let's go yellow. Can I have a yellow colour, please? Here we are. Champions here. That's where we lift the title. Let's do a trophy. Oh my God, what am I doing? That is awful. What a trophy. There it is, guys. Champions of England. Do a little arrow for you guys. Southampton away. Maybe I'll be there. Maybe we'll lift the trophy there. I just realised you can't really see it. Hang on, wait. That's awful. That is actually awful. Let's just hide that. You don't need to see it. Thank you for watching, guys. There is a rundown of my thoughts on the fixture list. Oh, and by the way, look at Man City's final 10, 11 games. They've got it easy.